Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending upon the location you are in. Welcome to the free series webinar from Tataxis. We are going to discuss today a very interesting topic on smart TV, which we will focus mainly on the rising penetration globally and how many of the smart TVs are connected and what kind of households are we talking about. But before going into the presentation, just briefly the housekeeping rules. So I will try to spend 35 minutes on the presentation so that we have enough time for the Q&A. And I would let you use the chat window. You can anytime write your questions and I will come back to it after the presentation. So the Q&A I will try to take all the questions which I will get through the chat window, but that's not all. You can anytime write me an email with your questions, comments, or remarks. You will see my email address at the end of the presentation. But as I said, the idea is to spend like 30 minutes for the presentation and the rest 30 minutes or less than 30 minutes on Q&A. I think we can start. We are on time, and we will see people will join in during the presentation. As I mentioned, so we would like to focus on smart TV evaluation since a few years, and we'll see also how it is gonna be in future, like 5 years down the line. But before I go into the agenda and the presentation in itself, we really need to know that it's a very broad subject. There are different ways or perspectives we can look at it. As we have limited time, so we will not be touching or talking about everything, but we'll be focusing on mainly one aspect of smart TV, which is um, what kind of evolution we have seen in a smart TV household penetration or the installed base since few years, and what it gonna be in near future, like 5 years down the line. So before I go into the agenda, just for the people whom might not know Tataxis, so we are a global market intelligence company with a huge database on TMT. So we cover all the end-to-end TV, OTT, video, telecom and technologies, and we provide our subscription to all the major technology providers, pay TV operators, broadcasters, OTT players around the globe. We have 3 offices worldwide. We are based in Germany for Europe, then we are in Mauritius for Africa, Asia Pacific region, and for Americas, we are in Argentina. Apart from that, we have an arm, events arm, where we do industry events, and we are number 1 in LATAM. Our events are called Next TV series and Next TV CEO events. We have 2 kinds of format where we gather all the main key stakeholders from the industry, covering end-to-end everything, all the TV, pay TV operators, FTA, broadcasters, OTT players, VOD players, all the technology providers, vendors, and also content providers. And we do more than 10 events worldwide. We focus on different regions and are doing events in LATAM. As I said, we are number 1 in LATAM. We are doing events in Europe, which is going to be in November this year, focusing on Western and Eastern Europe. Then we have events in Africa, which you will see at the end of the presentation. Presentation, there is a slide where you will see all the upcoming events. Other than that, last but not the least, we are also doing advertising for all our um, customers, and also who want to do some sponsored webinar or ad banners or white papers. And we have a newsletter, free newsletter, which you can subscribe, and we have more than 10,000 monthly visitors, and then we have more than 8,000 daily subscribers for this newsletter, which covers all the regions, but especially focusing on emerging markets like Africa and SAARC, for example, and LATAM. So that's a brief introduction on Tataxis. Now coming back again on the presentation. So we just to give you a brief context, what we are gonna focus on in this presentation mainly is we are going to look at what kind of installed base and what kind of households are we talking about when we talk about smart TV. As we all are aware of that there are plenty of drivers which is fueling the growth in smart TVs. But mainly, if I take one or two main drivers, then it is basically the increasing disposable income, which you can see, which is increasing world over. But mainly when we look at the Asia Pacific countries, the developing world, Africa, Middle East, Latin America, many countries, and also the so-called saturated markets. But still, the disposable income is increasing, and in addition, the second main driver which we see is the overall growth of the internet penetration, which is also growing. And not only that, you have higher speeds everywhere in most of the developed world and also developing countries, and countries where they are lacking behind. They are fast enough, and they are coming up with at par with the countries. They are moving very fast. So these are the main drivers which of course is impacting all the consumer electronic devices. Though if you look at the the industry in itself, if we only talk about TV, then of course the sales are flat or are declining. But when it comes to smart TVs, most of the TVs sold nowadays are smart TVs. Which is of course a driver in itself, and that which you can see also on the slide, that just from last 5 years you can see more than double smart TV households in 2018, with a compound annual growth of 17%, which is a very nice growth. And not only that, you can see in the overall TV households, the penetration of smart TV has reached almost 40%, from just only 19% in 2014. Which gives you a brief overview of when we talk about smart TVs, then what kind of penetration we are looking at globally. Coming to the another aspect, if you look at from it from another angle, then we always talk about the smart TV households. We always talk about the smart TV sales, but then the other angle to look at this is how many of these smart TVs, because mainly what is a smart TV? It is meant to be connected to the internet. So it should be online and doing things which your smartphone can do or your tablet can do. Of course, connected to the internet. But if in reality, if you look at the global data, then you can see on the slide also that only 50% of the smart TV households have connected smart TVs, which gives you the idea. Okay, we talk about smart TVs, we talk about the development and all the smart TV households and the evolution, the growth rate, but still it's a long way to go that all these smart TVs would be or should be connected to the internet. So which is the global picture of the really connected smart TVs to the internet, because the purpose which the smart TV could solve is that if you are online, then you can do a lot many things with your smart TV, as if you have a smart TV, but if you are not connected, it's just a dumb device, just like any other of your TV sets from the past. If we go into the regional distribution of the households, as you see on the slide that mostly the growth, and I think it's true for any consumer devices or any big industry, that most of the growth is coming from China. It's sheer volume, which you can see because it's a 1.3 billion population there, and they are adapting, or they are more open to new technologies. There's a lot of vendors and a lot of people doing new technological things, and you can see that that makes the whole difference by worldwide, that Asia Pacific is leading the number of households and smart TVs, and which is like, if you look at the overall picture, then it's more than 50% of the total smart TV households globally. But said that, it's if we take out China from Asia Pacific, then probably it will be in between North America and Europe, because China and when it comes to smart TV, I would say Japan and China are the two most promising market, and these are also developing quite fast in terms of smart TV households and smart TV penetration. But if we look at the annual growth since last 5 years, then it's Latin America which is leading with 25% of annual growth, which is quite obvious, because Latin America, as I mentioned before, is a very interesting market. Is growing, and most of the vendors and OEMs are trying to capture these markets: Latin America, Asia Pacific, of course, the developing countries, and Africa, Middle East. On the contrary, if we go and look at the penetration of smart TVs around the world, then of course North America is leading there, which is, as you can see, with the 70% smart TV penetration on total TV households, followed by Europe. Then in terms of the penetration, Asia Pacific and Latin America has the lowest smart TV penetration. But if we put all this in context, of course, when we talk about Asia Pacific, then we are talking about population which is one third of the world. So, of course, the penetration is low, but the markets are promising. As I said before, China has most of the smart TV households, and it is growing. And North America, of course, is have started a bit earlier in adoption of smart TVs with and it's kind of like flat or gonna be flat in a few years down the line. But there you have the smart TV penetration higher. And if we look at it from another perspective, then I, if we talk about only because here we are focusing on the CE devices and the smart TV in particular, but then as I was mentioning in the beginning, that there are other perspective also where you can look at smart TVs. If we look at it from the perspective of connected TV devices, then we can see that smart TVs are still in tough competition with the streaming media devices, which are like the likes of Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire Stick, and Chromecast. And if because the focus is not on that in this presentation, but I would like to mention this because in North America in particular, you will see that the streaming media devices are having a higher penetration than smart TVs. And then you have other connected TV devices like the game consoles and and the Blu-ray devices which are connected, and the set-top box, the DVR devices which are connected to the internet. So these are all different kind of connected DVD devices, which of course gives you another angle of looking at it. And that's why you see that the smart TV penetration is higher in North America. But of course, if we will be looking at it from a connected TV devices, then it would look lower penetration because the streaming media devices are still giving a tough competition to smart TVs in North America, and in developed countries like Japan, Australia, New Zealand, and it is like the same in all the major developed countries, but then the differences are by region. You will see Europe, maybe not, some countries yes, but in other countries you will see that the streaming media devices are not that much in competition with the smart TVs. The smart TVs has an edge over streaming media devices, but it differs from region to region. Um, Now, if we look at, as we were talking about the last 5 years evolution, and it is good to see what it would be in the next 5 years. Then you can see that smart TV households will cross the 1 billion mark in 2022 growing at a compound annual growth of 59% during the period, which is from 2019 to 2023, which is very good growth. And then, of course, as the smart TV households will be increasing, and this will also uh, and this is not the only thing. People, consumers would be more open to connect their smart TVs, as it is not the case now. Because mainly what restricts or what is the hindrance between that consumers connect their smart TVs on do not want to connect is one that they are not used to it, and though they have or they are having other devices in their living room which are already connected, and they don't feel the need of connecting their smart TV. In addition, secondly, of course, we will talk about this in the presentation also, is the overall user friendliness of a smart TV, user interface, and the way you navigate, and a lot of many things which kind of hinders the usage, and people would not like to connect to the internet. And thirdly, and from my opinion, the most important is point is the security. Like people don't feel secure because, as you know, that we are talking about on that. Okay, we everybody is the smart TV is not safe. It is tracking your movement, is tracking your choices, everything, of course. But we are living in a digital world. We are connected anyhow. If you have a smartphone or a tablet or another device in your living room, then anyhow you are connected to the internet, and all the analytics and everything in between are kind of making this. But of course, this is another issue with the security, and that's not the topic for today. But to put everything in context, why people don't want to connect their smart TVs to the internet. But as you can see, in 5 years down the line, there will be like more than 70% smart TVs connected to the internet. So which says a lot about how the consumer perception, how the usage will change in future. As we have looked at the household penetration, the different regions, how they are evolving with the smart TV household penetration and the connected TV sets in the households. To look at it from other perspective, when we talk about the smart TV sales, and when we talk about the installed base we have for smart TVs, then you can see that it has been developing quite fast, and it's more than um, six 640 million of smart TVs are already installed in 2018, from just 290 million in 2014, which is a big jump. And we just to give you that the assumptions which is industry assumption, that of course we have to take into consideration the replacement cycle, and then we put it at like 6 years of replacement cycle, and then you can see still that the smart TV install base is growing at a growth rate of 18% has grown to in these last 5 years. And the good thing is that out of these installed base, almost more than 50% of the smart TVs are connected to the internet. So it's a good evolution of the smart TV install base and the sales, and of course the if we take into consideration everything, the sales, the replacement cycle, and of course the adoption of consumer to go for a smart TVs, then you will see, of course, that people are more inclined to buy a smart TV as nowadays. Whenever they want to buy, if they are deciding to buy a TV now, then it's the most probable choice would be a smart TV. But of course, we have already TVs in our living room, which could be any other TV set, and the replacement and everything. If we put in context, then of course we are not there that we can say, okay, 100% of the TVs are smart TVs, not yet, but it is growing fast. And the good part is that the TVs consumers are connected, connecting their smart TVs to the internet, and it's a good sign. If we talk about the forecast, when we are focusing on the installed base, then you can see that it is gonna be in 5 years already crossing the 1 billion marks for the smart TV install base, and the connected TV smart TV will be also growing. In 2023, it will be more than 70%. So to be precise, 74%. So of course, it is even it. We can look at it from two different angles. Like we can say, okay, it is a conservative forecast, or it is too optimistic or too pessimistic. But I'm pretty much sure, and then you can also see all the smart. If we look everything, putting it together and put that in a puzzle, and connecting the dots, taking into consideration the TV sales, the install base, and also the overall TV set sales, and out of that the flat TV sales, and out of that the smart TV sales, and there is still a gap. So and we predict that still there will be some void there, and the smart TV install base will grow for sure, and will grow faster, but it will take time when all the TV sets, or all the TV sets which we have in the living room would be smart TVs. Of course, it's not only based on the sales, but also mostly what perception consumer have of smart TVs, and it differs from region to region, country to country, and of course there are other factors which are involved in your decision when you buy a smart TV, and especially if you have already have other connected devices which you are using. Just for example, if you are, I can give you like if we talk about Asia Pacific and we talk about the developing countries there, then there are quite few options which are not so costly. So you can buy a Android box, for example, and then you can connect it to your normal TV set, and then you have it. But still, I believe that it's of course the perception is changing, and as there are opportunities, and you see that there are plenty of OEMs which are making it easier, and they are evolving, they are innovating, and consumers are really finding them quite attractive. So in this uh, case, it will grow, and of course there is competition from other connected TV devices, but smart TV has a promising future, as you can see. And if you look at the slides which you already have seen on the growth of the households, on the growth of the smart TV install base, so it's for smart TV vendors, and not only for them. And I will come to it in few seconds. It's a big ecosystem which could benefit and is already benefiting from this industry. Just before I go into the market share and looking at what ecosystem we are talking about, for those who would be interested, though this here I wanted to just focus on the penetration and what kind of market size we are talking about, what kind of penetration, what kind of connected smart TV penetration we are talking about. But just to give you the context why we are talking about smart TVs and what is the typical usage of a smart TV. So mainly, as many of you might know, and you are working in the industry, you are working in in the same ecosystem. So mainly smart TVs, you can see on the left hand graph, which is coming from the European Commission, and that people are using it mainly to watch online non-linear content. Not only that, they are using it also for catch-up services from their FTA operator or their pay TV operator. So as you can see, there are quite some good examples. You have Netherlands, UK, Sweden, all the Nordic countries, Germany. There you can see that there is a high percentage of people using smart TVs for their content consumption, especially when it comes to SVOD services or catch-up services. In fact, this is an old graph, but on the right, if I can translate it for you, it's the smart TV usage in Germany, and it is coming from GFU, which is the institution who tracks all the devices, connected devices usage in German households. And here you can see that in terms of also age and what they are looking at, what they are consuming on their smart TV. MediaTek is the catch-up services, mostly from the FTA providers like of ARD and ZDF in Germany, RTL. Then you have VOD. the SWOD and other WOD services, which is like 56% of the usage. And lastly, you have the smaller video clips or smaller videos, just for example, YouTube or other channels. So which is 54%. So it's the main usage, but there are much more than this, which is happening, which I will talk about it in my last slide. So this is just to give you the context of what kind of usage are we talking about when we talk about, okay, this much smart TV households, that is the penetration, and these kind of sales globally. But this, to put some context to it, okay, that is why smart TVs are getting popular day by day, and having competition, just not only from other TV devices, but from other connected TV devices, which are in some regions or in some countries are more popular than smart TVs. Talking about the context, and now coming back to what what is happening when we come talk about the OEMs and the main. I would have done a slide on the OEMs, but it's more interesting, and it's getting more and more interesting, that we should talk about the operating system behind the TV brand, because this is what is defining more or less what a consumer will buy, or at least this makes an impact in your decision whether you go for a particular brand or you go for another brand. So if you look at the market share by operating system for 2018, then you can see clearly that Android is having more than 40% of the share, which means that the market is moving towards more kind of a consolidation, because if you look in the past, I will not go in the history, but in the past it was like most of the major OEMs had either proprietary operating system, or they were working on Linux-based operating system. But as you can see on the chart here, Android is having more than 40%, and then you have other operating systems, but mainly it's the Tizen operating system, which is one of the major operating system, and Samsung, which is sorry, which is having more than which is having 28% of the share, followed by the Web OS from LG. These are the two only proprietary operating system which are still having good market share, and kind of a leader in the smart TV market. But then there are plenty of other operating systems which are there and are developing or growing, which I can show you in my next slide, um, just a summary of not all major, not the all the OEMs, but the major ones. You can see that most of it, if we even don't go into details, we can see clearly that it's the Android operating system and the Roku, which is the most popular ones in for the vendors. And mostly you will see that if one vendor is working with Android, then they are working with Roku also. This is coming from the fact that Roku is more popular in US or in North America, and vendors, of course, and especially the growing vendors from China, they don't want to miss the opportunity to focus on this operating system, though they also have Android as an operating system. So they want to capture the maximum market, because these are the two most developed operating systems with a very nice UI and UX design. It's open source, so there's a lot of development going on from every quarter. So that's why when they adapt it, that means they are pretty much um, sure that okay, they have less to do and people are more used to it already through their smartphones and tablets and other devices. So it's the reason that you can see that these are the two main operating systems, but of course there are plenty of other operating systems apart from the proprietary operating system from LG and Samsung. There's Firefox, which is Panasonic is working with, and there's Netcast, Philips is working with, but Philips is also doing Android TVs. Then you have Veracast, and from you have Netcast, you have Sharp working with Equus, Net Plus. So it's a mix of many other, and also the Amazon Fire TV is also growing in this. So they, if we go back and look at it, so in 16% of the market share from the total smart TV sales for 2018, then you have these many operating systems fighting for this share. And as you can see, 40% of Android operating systems. So there are a lot of vendors who are working with Android or who have Android as an operating system, and they are gaining ground on that. This is to give you the feel of in terms of what kind of vendors are we talking about, what operating systems are we talking about, and how it is evolving. This brings me to the last slide for today's presentation is on the key trends and the future outlook. Of course, this we can talk or I can talk at large on the trends and future outlook, but here I have just summarized the key points. So in terms of trend, as you have seen just before, that the operating system is in terms for smart TVs is going towards consolidation, and this is a very good sign, because in the past it used to be either proprietary or a shabby kind of operating system with no real updates, no real changes or development. But as more and more vendors are looking for or keeping Android or Roku, which are in itself developed, and they have a nice look and feel, and people are used to it. Good for navigation, very nice way of putting all your apps and all your content distribution apps on the platform. So there is attraction towards Android and also Roku in some case, because these are the two most developed operating systems for now. Then, as I mentioned before, it's not only the smart TV vendors or the operating systems which are into the picture, but it's the whole ecosystem which is kind of evolving, and it is expanding to an extent that you will see that more and more companies and vendors with their solutions, with their products are kind of joining this ecosystem. So as the smart TVs are, as we have seen, and the usage, the main usages are and the content consumption on SVOD or catch-up services or other videos. So, but not only that, because we are talking about the non-linear consumption, but of course the linear consumption is always there, and it's a combination of both somehow, because pay TV operators are already working with smart TV vendors in most of the cases, and they kind of provide some kind of access so that you can have your pay TV content also on the smart TV. And then there's a whole ecosystem of players who are into app development, who are into UI development, who want players and vendors who are working together with the different UI systems. They are working together with the content providers, the online video service provider. So there's a big ecosystem, and it's expanding and growing, and you will see that this is in fact kind of fuel the growth in the for the smart TVs, because this will, if the ecosystem will be well developed, and and the different kind of players will come together and see the benefits. So this will also impact the growth of smart TVs in the end. The other key trend which I also touched in the presentation is the competition. So the competition is not only coming from the manufacturers, but also from other connected TV devices, like I said, the streaming media devices, which are in the closest competitor, I would say, because these are there from long and well developed, and people, consumers are already have adapted them, and they are using it for their online video consumption. And not only that, there are also the game consoles, which are also quite developed and also give you the whole bunch of the online video platform applications to use in their platform. Then there are Blu-ray devices, the set-top boxes, and DVR, which are connected to the internet, which is also in tough competition. But the most uh, closest competition for smart TV is, of course, coming from the streaming media devices. Then we have seen that there are a lot of Chinese brands which have crossed border, and they are kind of getting popular everywhere, especially in Europe and America. You can see in North America, there's a lot of Chinese brands which are popular, and people are quite happy from these smart TVs. Mostly, they are working with either Android and Roku, as we have seen before. Lastly, the one key trend or one key factor which is very important in all this ecosystem and the smart TVs and the other vendors is the innovation which is happening. So smart TVs, as you might have seen, has evolved quite a lot in the last 5 6 years, and it is gonna be like this in future, that people will innovate, and the vendors are really looking for new innovation and making it more attractive for the consumer. And they are all already vendors who are working for with Google and Alexa for the voice recognition, and there are other important innovations like the recommendation which you get for your content consumption, which is also key. And there are plenty of more coming in near future. If we look at the future, of course, if we look at the overall picture, then smart TVs are gonna be evolving very fast, as it has happened in the last years, and as there are other verticals which are also evolving in parallel, and there is a kind of synergy between these. I'm talking about the smart home devices and services. So smart TV vendors are already working together with these devices, and they are actually well positioned to integrate these services into the smart TV, because in the end, if you have connected smart TV in your living room and you have other devices for your smart home living, then you will, as a consumer, would be happy to manage it from somehow from one device. Then there's a lot of co-branding going on, and it is going to be increasing more in the future. There's TCL working with Roku, which we already I have mentioned, and there are other brands which are working together with different vendors, giving their TV giving their TV brand to other vendors, so that they can market their brands. Then there are other partnerships happening in the ecosystem. Of course, you will partner with a app developer or a vendor which is creating apps for your smart TVs. Then you have linear TV providers. Then you have the online video provider which you are partnering with, or the smart TVs already have a partnership in place. But as the ecosystem is expanding, so there will be more partnerships coming up. Consolidation, we already talked about it, but it is gonna be more and more. you will see that in future there will be less and less operating systems, and it is gonna be focused on one or two of them, or couple of them only. Um, Apart from this, there are other advanced technologies like artificial intelligence and Internet of Things, which is going on and working in parallel with the smart TV manufacturers and the ecosystem, because they can help making it more attractive. And these kind of innovations are already happening, and will happen more in the future. And then lastly, the new business models in terms of, if I can give you an example, the Xiaomi from China, they already have a kind of subsidized subscription offer for their TV users, where they can have subscription for different digital services like e-commerce site, or online video services in China. And these kind of new business models, they are evolving and are the future in smart TVs. I think I've covered everything, and it has been more time than planned, because you have so many things to talk about, and so less time. But you can see on the slide the upcoming events which we are having. In May, we have an event in Argentina on 14th and 15th, and then the next TV CEO in Africa, in Cape Town. You can see on the slide my email address. If you have any questions, remarks, or comments, then you can always write to me, or if I can, let me look at the chat window. If you have any questions which I can answer. Let me see. Okay, let me quickly go through the. Okay. Okay, so I see that we have a lot of questions on what numbers are for which market, which country, please. So I can, to answer this question, I can send you the list of countries. But basically, as you have seen, the numbers are mainly global numbers. Except Africa, Middle East. So you have numbers from North America, Latin America, Europe, and Asia Pacific, and mainly all the countries. TV households, smart or non-smart, it's both. So household is the TV household with any kind of TV set. But then you can see as you can have seen on the slide, you can see the difference between the smart TV households in the overall universe of TV households. Graph 2 smart TV include connected smart TV. So the question is on the connected smart TV. As you can see on the slide, it's the total smart TV households, and out of the total, how many are really connected to the internet. Then I have a question from Ivana. Hi, do you know the quantity or percentage of the market by brands? Um, yeah, we know the market share by brands also, but as I mentioned in the presentation, it's more interesting to look at the operating systems. To answer your question for Latin America, I uh, can send it to you via email. Then there's a question, are we going to share the presentation? Yes, the presentation will be available on the website tomorrow, I guess, like in one day. So it takes like 24 hours, and then the presentation is available on the website, where you can also download the presentation and listen to the webinar. So there's a recording also. Yes, I think I have answered the presentation question. What about market share of TV brands in LATAM? As I mentioned, I will collect this information from my LATAM colleagues and would share you on your email. Is there a view on number of TV sets per household? Yes, we have it in our files. It would be nice if you can send me your precise questions and I will come back to you. Do you have numbers for France specifically? Yes, we have the numbers for France. Please send me an email and your precise question, and I will send you back the response. Okay, I think I'm done as I've seen all the questions. Perfect. And as I said, if you have any other questions, any comments, remarks, just send me an email and I will be happy to answer all your remaining questions. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope that we will see you soon. We have a webinar coming up on 11th of April on the add-on TV channels for Latin America. Thank you and have a nice day.